Last week walinipata unawares. Warudi tena. Wajaribu tena. We will protect the city, the capital city. Wasijaribu. Yani, si wanasema kuna siku wanakuja. Wajaribu kukusa mali ya mtu yoyote.
This week's protests in Nairobi have taken a worrying turn after reports emerged of hired militia being used to infiltrate peaceful demonstrations. What began as an organized protest led by Gen Z against the brutal murder of Albert Ojwang and governance issues has now turned into a dangerous game of manipulation, fear and violence. On Tuesday, what was supposed to be a peaceful march through the streets of Nairobi quickly turned chaotic. Masked men wielding crude weapons, batons and metal rods were seen among the protesters. But unlike the genuine Gen Z demonstrators who were chanting and holding placards, these men had a different mission. They moved in groups, often communicating with individuals suspected to be plainclothed officers. Some of them were even seen walking side by side with uniformed police, raising serious questions about who had deployed them and what their real intentions were.
Tunawambia daily bana. Hatutaki mchezo hapa CBD. Hautakuja hapa in the name of maandamano, tunataka kuharibia watu biashara. Tushakuja na tuna patrol. Komanda amepatana na chairman wa Goons mwenyewe. Tunawambia mchezo. Hii nyumba mtaguza tena venye mlikuza. Na tunasema hivi. Hao wenye wanalipana tutapatana head on head. Lakini mtajua. Hivi mmesoma mpate kazi, sisi tumesoma ili tujitegemee. Hamwezi pata kazi tu hivyo hivyo. Lazima mpambane.
Eyewitnesses say the goons were not there to protest, but to cause harm and spread fear. In several areas including Moi Avenue, Tom Mboya Street and parts of Kenyatta Avenue, the group was seen harassing passers-by, breaking into shops and robbing people in broad daylight. This quickly disrupted the peaceful atmosphere that Gen Z had tried so hard to maintain in their demonstrations. Many now feel their genuine cause had been hijacked by unseen hands. The Kenya Police and the Kenya Defence Forces KDF have now stepped in, expressing serious concerns over the situation. Security experts warn that if such tactics continue, Kenya will start heading down a dangerous path. According to senior military officials, using militia or rogue groups to interfere with peaceful protests is not only unconstitutional but also dangerous to national stability. The military has issued internal warnings saying that such actions, if not contained, could push the country closer to becoming a failed state. This is not the first time suspicion has been cast on the government's role in managing protests. Last week, key political figures like FAROUK, KIBET and Nairobi Governor Johnston SAKAJA hinted that the Central Business District CBD would be protected at all costs. While they did not give specific details, the recent use of armed goons has raised eyebrows. Many Kenyans now wonder if such statements were a subtle warning of what was to come.
SAKAJA, wewe unapenda sheria. Wewe umekuja hapa. Sisi tunakutuma kwamba Nairobi ibaki salama.
The use of militia in public protest is not new in Kenya's political history. However, what makes this case different is the visibility and boldness of the group involved. Videos shared on social media showed some of the goons being dropped off in Probox vehicles and motorbikes in areas around Gikomba, Kamukunji and railways. Others were captured receiving instructions near police trucks and anti-riot vehicles. The National Police Service has launched investigations to find out who these individuals are, who funded them, and what their mission was. According to insiders, a team of detectives has been formed to analyze CCTV footage from the CBD and review phone records of suspected handlers. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI) is also said to be tracking financial transactions linked to the hiring of these goons.
Who? SAKAJA? So that one maybe my team have not revealed. When you approach SAKAJA as a person, we may not get the information. He will recant. But when we start arresting, that's the time we are going. They will tell us who hired them.
Human rights groups have condemned the infiltration of protests and the use of violence to intimidate peaceful demonstrators. They argue that while the right to protest is protected under the Constitution, introducing criminals in the mix not only undermines democracy but also puts innocent lives at risk. Parents and guardians across the country are also growing anxious, especially with the number of youths participating in these protests. There is growing fear that young people may be lured into violence or fall victims of rogue actors operating under the cover of law enforcement.
Demonstrating for your rights is allowed, but we will not allow destruction of property again. Haitafanyika tena Nairobi. Haitafanyika. Ukiona watu wanachoma magari, yani mtu umetoka umeenda town na gari yako inachomwa, that will not bring back our brother. Si ni kweli? Na hao wakora wanajulikana, excellency. Kuna wale wamenaswa kwa kamera, wamenaswa, picha zimepigwa.
Meanwhile, political leaders are divided. Some are accusing the government of trying to silence dissent using illegal methods, while others believe these actions are necessary to prevent what they call urban queues. But ordinary Kenyans watching from the sidelines are simply tired of the rising tension, tired of the lies, tired of seeing a country slowly drifting into confusion. What remains clear is that the situation is now bigger than just a protest. It has morphed into a serious national concern involving the military, the police, politicians and ordinary citizens. The big question remains, who hired the goons and why?
We never included in our operations the areas where we were supposed to be assisted by persons called goons, knowing that in Kenya also goons or vigilantism is all outlawed. So as a procedure, that's commotion, and also to know who are these goons and who are their sponsors.
Until answers are found and accountability is enforced, trust between the government and its people will continue to weaken. And if the warnings from the military are anything to go by, Kenya must tread carefully, because what starts with a few rogue actors on the streets can quickly grow into a fire that becomes impossible to control.
Wakivunja hizo dustbins, wakivunja kabro, kuna barabara nimeweka brand new Victorian lights wanabeba, please they must be arrested na wafungwe, na uwe funzo kwa watu wengine. Public property belongs to the people of Kenya, si ni kweli? So hata kama tunatetea haki zetu, kwa sababu katiba inasema you can demonstrate so long as you're peaceable and unarmed. Ukikiuka hiyo, this country must be a country of the rule of law. So wasijaribu tena, watanipata town. Si ni kweli? Tutakuwa hapo, tutachunga mali ya wananchi. Umefungua duka yako, umeinvest, watu wanaingia wanachukua vitu. That is criminal behavior, and those are criminals, and they will be treated as such. Lakini wale wanaandamana kwa amani will be protected.